Well, folks, we are officially at the halfway point of justice as none other than Karmelo Anthony has officially been charged. Now, first and foremost, I think it's important to know that not only has he been charged for the crimes at hand or alleged crimes at hand, but he has been charged as an adult, which means he will be doing adult time if convicted of these charges. So, further information that has come out is that he has been charged with of the first degree, which only makes sense because according to his own testimony on the day of, that's exactly what it was. This is not a case of self-defense. This is essentially a case of whether or not that video footage and other evidence will lead to what most of us already know. What that also means is that if he is indeed convicted, he will likely be doing 25 to life. Now, some people may think that this is unfair. This is a teenager who just simply made a mistake. But the reality is this. This is a young man who made a choice that unfortunately may lead to him spending the rest of his life in prison. And I hope this can stand as a cautionary tale as opposed to another opportunity to act a damn victim. It's a message for y'all, BLM. This is not the victim. The victim is no longer here with us.
Now, the other day, I reported to you guys that the baby beater that is representing Karmelo Anthony and his family, he was supposed to have this massive George Floyd protest on Sunday, the Sunday that just passed. I guess it was the anniversary of George Floyd or his birthday. I don't know. It was something along those lines. It's not like I sit here and keep up with George Floyd anniversary dates, but apparently, you know, some people do, especially race baiters that like to just dwell on all of these racial things because that's all they can do. It's all they know. It's all they're good for. But Dominique Alexander, the baby beater, he was planning this massive rally, the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd rally. And he was putting out flyers all over Texas. He was putting out online flyers all over Facebook, all over X, all over these various other social media accounts. He was promoting this protest for about a month, maybe even a little over a month. And he was making it seem like it was going to be a very big deal. And at the same time, he was making himself out to be a very big deal. I know that some of you maybe haven't followed the Karmelo case as closely as I have, but I've listened and I've read all of this guy's interviews. I've watched and listened to and read all of his interviews. And in all of his interviews, he brags about himself. He brags about what a big deal he is in Texas. And more specifically, what a huge deal he is in Dallas. He always talks about how he's one of the most known, one of the most talked about figures in Texas. And he really just boosts himself up 24/7. He does these interviews where he's supposed to be talking about Karmelo Anthony and the case, but he winds up just talking about himself the whole time while plugging the name of his organization, while just talking about all of these other things that he's done in the past. Mind you, his accomplishments, no one else would view as accomplishments. His accomplishments are, oh, I started this huge protest and then like 4 or 5 police officers got killed at the protest. That's his accomplishments. But he wears these things like badges of honor, and he talks about how he's so well known. And he was promoting this protest for weeks. And I started thinking, you know, listen, I know this guy isn't what he claims to be, but maybe he can draw a crowd. Who am I to say otherwise? He has organized some successful protests in the past for sure. So I was thinking, hey, who knows what may happen at this protest, at this rally? Who knows what type of crowd he will bring in? Because right now, he's got a lot of clout because of the Karmelo Anthony case. And this case is getting more national coverage than most of the cases he's ever been attached to. So I was thinking that maybe he could draw a crowd out there. Well, I have video of the protest, of the rally, of whatever you want to call it. And I'm about to show you the video in just a second. But first, if you guys like this video, if you like these videos in general, if you support the channel, consider supporting the channel in one of many ways. You could like the video. You could comment on the video. Let us know how you feel. You can share the video on social media. That's very important, to share the word, to spread these videos out there. And the way that Karmelo Anthony supporters are spreading lies and nonsense, it's important that people like you spread the truth. So share the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Put your notifications on. And if you want to take your support one step further, because I do not get support from this platform, Karmelo Anthony supporters can say whatever they want to say. They can do all types of foul and evil things. But if someone like me tells the truth, we get penalized for it. So if you want to take your support one step further, you could always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks, and it is always humbly appreciated. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this protest, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
All right, y'all know that, right? But also, I want to bring somebody up, y'all. This is a person that I don't believe if he didn't open the door for me years ago, the Next Generation Action Network would not be here, y'all. This is the person that I blame on putting my life in a trajectory of this very thankless work that we do. And yet, about 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, this brother told me and David Crenshaw, he said, don't talk about it, be about it. Y'all get in the streets. And I don't know why in the hell I let him convince me to get my ass in the street.
Well, would you look at that? You know, when they had that Austin Metcalf protest a while back, I thought that maybe nothing can get worse than that. Maybe, you know what I mean? Nothing can get worse than that. The turnout that actually showed up. But this is much worse. This guy has such an ego. He's such a narcissist that he's got the speakers on, speaking into a microphone, acting as if he's talking to a crowd, when in reality there's just like maybe 2 or 3 people there. Now I know there's a few more people than 2 or 3 in the video, but you got to understand, folks, a lot of those cameramen, they work with the baby beater. Half the people that you saw standing around in the video, they were there with the baby beater. They weren't there as part of the rally or part of the protest. They weren't attendees or whatever you would want to call them. No, they're part of the organization that was holding the protest. So all in all, he had this rally that besides people who work with him, maybe 3 or 4 people showed up to. And he's talking on a microphone like it's a big crowd. You could gather everyone together that showed up and you could sit on a park bench and have a personal conversation. You could literally gather everyone around. You could throw a picnic blanket on the ground. You could all sit in a kumbaya circle and have a personal conversation and say whatever you wanted to say. You didn't have to sit at a podium on a microphone with the speakers going because no one's there to listen, pal. No one's there to listen, buddy. So it turns out this guy who has been boosting himself up to be this big deal, it turns out that he's not that big of a deal at all. And I wonder if Carmelo Anthony's family saw this video. I wonder if they saw the turnout of this protest. I wonder if they see stuff like this and realize, hey, maybe we've been tricked. Maybe we've been lied to. Maybe we've been taken advantage of. Because if I was Carmelo's family and I saw this protest, I would be like, wait. Maybe we need to get a better, more well-known black activist to play the race card for us, because this guy stinks. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Like, if you're going to take the route of playing the race card and you're going to have a fake wannabe Al Sharpton or something out here representing you, then at least do it right. You got to do it better than this. This was laughable. This was pathetic. I was expecting more from this baby beater. You know, don't get me wrong, I think it's absolutely ridiculous and stupid that they're having a George Floyd protest in 2025, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why no one showed up, but damn, I was expecting better from this guy. He's been boosting himself up to be like this huge villain of this story that had this pull and this sway, and he had power and he had influence. And this was all he could muster? Besides the cameraman that were working with you, filming you, you could, maybe 3 or 4 people that were walking by in the park decided to stop and listen to what your dumbass had to say for a few minutes? So yeah. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was expecting more, folks. I knew this guy was full of it the entire time, but I was expecting a tidbit more, man. So what even is the point of this organization? What can you guys do? You can't even throw together a successful George Floyd rally. How can you be expected to represent Karmelo when you can't even properly do the Floyd? I mean, the George Floyd, it's an easy layup. But I don't know, folks. I guess the energy just isn't there, at least not with this guy. You know what I think? Obviously, I don't live in this area. I don't live in Texas. I don't live around this area. I think that this guy has probably, well, we know he's made a name for himself somewhat, but I would guarantee you that part of the black community out there, they probably don't like this guy either. Because if they did, he would have been able to draw a bigger crowd. I would be willing to bet that a lot of the black community in this area have probably already woken up to what a douchebag and what a fraud and what an idiot he is. And while he makes it seem like he has all of this support, you know, on a national scale, when people from all over the world are watching, in reality, people who live in the area are probably done with this guy. They're probably over this guy, and that's why no one showed up. Because, I mean, this guy is very easy to read. It's very easy to tell that he's full of crap. And I would be willing to bet that at least portions of the black community in that area, they're probably already up on game about this guy. And they're probably already tired of him too. And that's why no one showed up to this protest. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'll tell you this. This is not the last that we've heard from this guy. And this George Floyd protest obviously didn't work out for him. But he's going to keep trying whatever he can to stir the pot. He's going to do whatever he can to race bait people and to enrage people and what have you. So I'm not saying that we should let our guards down when it comes to this guy, because he's going to stir stuff up moving forward. And if anything, he's probably embarrassed by the turnout to the George Floyd thing, because that's something he fell back on because the Carmelo Anthony case was falling off. So if anything, I think he's going to get more desperate when it comes to the Karmelo Anthony case. So don't be surprised if we see him start taking shots at Austin's dad again and just doing things to cause problems. Because the George Floyd route, the 5-year anniversary route, did not work out for him. So all he's got going for him really is the Karmelo Anthony case. So he's going to do whatever he can in that case to stir up problems so he can get attention. Because the attention ain't coming from anywhere else. And I think the George Floyd protest proved that. So he's only going to get more radical and more desperate when it comes to the Karmelo stuff. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.